Hey everybody, I'm JJ. You're watching Reality Survival, and today I want to talk with you about long-term food storage. September is National Preparedness Month or whatever, so figured it'd be a good time to kind of go back and cover some of the basic stuff. Guys, if you watch this channel for a long time, you've heard me talk about the need to layer your food preps. And what that means is you've got one layer, which is your pantry in your house. And you know, that pantry should be stuff that you eat on a regular basis and you rotate through it. If you can get that up to a 3-month level or a 4-month level where you could eat out of it for 3 or 4 months, that would be awesome. That's kind of the goal to shoot for. Now, some houses and apartments and different things like that may not have that much storage capability, so you got to do what you can, you know what I mean? But that's layer one. Layer two is having a good supply of your dry goods, your dry staples, your rice, your beans, your wheat berries for flour, just anything like that. Any of those dry goods that you can store for a long time, you want to have some of that put away. You know, sugar, salt, just, you know, all that jazz. And I've got a sheet on my website, AmericanPreppingAcademy.com. You guys can go check that out. You can download it. It gives you a sample spreadsheet of what it would take to stock your pantry to feed your family for a year, okay, for 4 people. That's about 1 million calories. You need roughly 1 million calories per year per person. So, you know, it's a lot of calories and all that. But the last part that you need is, and you know that, let me back up a second, that stage 2, those dry goods, those are going to, you know, probably cover another 4 or 5 months of your food preps. And what you do is you combine that with the third stage, which is freeze-dried or dehydrated food that comes in buckets. And I'll show you what I've got here today in just a second. But what I have always recommended to everybody, and what I still recommend to everybody, is that you get your buckets from multiple different sources, okay? And the reason you want to do that is because the best, you know, there's a few good reasons to buy the food in the buckets. Number one, you can put it away and not think about it. That most of them are good. Most of the meals and stuff are good for up to 25 years. All right, so you can put them in a closet and kind of forget about them. You know, just check them every once in a while and make sure everything's good. But for the most part, you can forget about it. That's probably the single best benefit. The second thing is that they have different recipes, and so different companies have different recipes, and kind of the big benefit of combining the rice and beans and all that jazz with the buckets is that you can extend out the rice and beans. You can use those as fillers, and then you can have these different recipes in the buckets. So you get a different flavor profile. I've done a video talking about food boredom, and food boredom is a real thing, okay? And that happens to people who have the same food every day without any variety. And what happens is they've done studies on this. It's widely known that some people will experience a psychological effect that causes them to eat less and less and less over time. Even though they're in an emergency situation, even though, you know, they may be in a famine or whatever the case may be, they still just, their brain doesn't accept that they want to eat that food over and over and over and over again for months on end. And so they end up shrinking their stomach smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller over a long period of time, and they eventually start to get malnutrition because they just don't want to eat the same stuff over and over. Now, some people it doesn't affect, but some people it does. And you see in refugee camps and stuff like that, people starving. Even when food is available to them, they just don't want to eat it, okay? So you don't want to put yourself in that kind of situation, in my opinion, if you can. So these buckets are a great way to add a different variety to your meals. Now, the other reason that I suggest going with different companies and having a bunch of different buckets from a bunch of different companies is because it lowers the opportunity for you to get some bad meal. You know, let's say that a certain company A had a packaging problem and it didn't get sealed up all the way, or whatever the case may be. If you bought all your stuff from in huge quantities from that one company, then you could have a whole bunch of spoilage in that shipment, right? But if you broke it up into multiple different companies, then you're less likely to have that issue, because it's just unlikely, you know, because you're spreading it out over different companies. They all have different quality control and all that kind of stuff. So that's one of the reasons that I think it's good to do the different companies. The other reason is because they have different menus. Each company has different menus. And so again, you get a wider variety of things that you can use to supplement in with those dry goods and stuff like that, to make it last longer and to have a better variety profile for you and your family to eat. Okay, so your goal is to try to have about a year's worth of food in total. So if you've got 3 or 4 months in your pantry, and then you've got, you know, maybe 4 to 6 months or so in your dry goods section, and then, you know, another, what would that be, you know, 3 to 4 months or so of long-term food storage. All right, so that's just kind of just a good round figure for getting yourself really set up. Now, let's bring this up. That's just kind of generalized background stuff. Let's bring this into today. Today, 2021, September 7th, as I'm recording this, what we're experiencing is a lot of hidden supply shortages. If you pay attention when you go into the grocery store, what you're probably seeing is that they don't have all the same stuff that they normally do, but they're shuffling around the items, and they're trying to make it look like there's not as many shortages as there really are. And so they're trying to kind of hide that to make it seem like the issue is not as big of a deal as it really is. But we are still experiencing quite a bit of food shortages in many different places, in many different stores, and across many different types of foods. So while you can, it's a good idea to go ahead and stock up. And here's the thing with this, with stocking up on food. It provides a level of insurance that is really comforting for people, especially for spouses maybe who aren't really up on prepping, and they just don't know about all this doomsday stuff and all that kind of stuff. You can talk to your spouse and say, look, you know, this is food. So if you lose your job and you can't work, we don't have the paycheck to be able to go and buy food every month. You know, maybe we just have enough to just cover the bills of the mortgage or whatever the case may be, or, you know, whatever. Then we've got multiple months, up to a year or so, that we can still be okay if the worst, you know, case scenario happens with regard to employment and that kind of thing. It's also good for regional disasters and stuff like that. It's also great for charity. When things, you know, bad things happen, you can take some of that food and send it out to help people. You know, there's just a lot of really good and practical reasons to have extra food on hand, okay? So I just kind of want to throw that out there. Now, what I have done is I have partnered with Patriot Supply, and they have set up a website for Reality Survivor viewers. I'm an affiliate with them, so if you get something from this website, I'll get a little bit of a kickback, and you're supporting my channel. But they've got a pretty good deal going. I want to say it's about let's see, for the 2 bucket package, it's about $125 per bucket roughly, and that'll get you about 38 to 40 pounds worth of food. They've broken this up to average about 2,000 calories per day, and I'm going to go through and show you the different stuff that they've got in each one. Let's see, which one is this? This one I think is the entree one. Yeah. And then this one is the more of the breakfast one. So $125 per bucket is not a terrible price. All right, if you look around, you look on Amazon and all that kind of stuff, I've seen some companies charging up to $200 right now because of the supply shortages and the demand that's going on right now. So it's not a bad price. And that's this is really probably one of the main reasons that I decided to partner with my Patriot Supply, is that as over the past 18 months or so, and I've been checking in on a lot of the different companies, a lot of the smaller boutique companies, and some of the ones which I've worked with in the past and all that kind of stuff, they just can't keep stuff in stock. And so, you know, it's understandable because they're smaller companies. Well, my Patriot Supply is a bigger company. They have better supply lines, and they've done a pretty good job of staying in stock. And they have food now that's available and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, if you haven't gotten some of this stuff, if you haven't tried this company, if you haven't tried some of these menus, give them a shot, you know, and see what you think. All right, let's go ahead and go through this real quick. I don't want this to be too long, so I'm going to make this kind of a real fast thing. I will say one of the odd things about my Patriot Supply that they do is that in both of these buckets, there's a couple of items that will only last up to 10 years. And I asked them about that, and they said, well, they were a very high demand item, and we have really strict standards on what we will label something as for how long it will be good. And so, like this one is banana chips, and they give it an up to 10-year shelf life. Now, some other companies will give banana chips a lot longer shelf life, but their standards are such that they don't want to say it's going to last any longer than what they feel is right. So, so there's a couple of things in there. Now, what I would recommend is if you get some of this stuff, I would pull the buckets out, look and see what you have. Any of the stuff that's up to 10-year shelf life, put in, you know, like a separate container or whatever, and label it. And then all the rest of the stuff that's up to 25 years, then just leave it in these buckets. That's kind of the way that I would do it. It's totally up to you, but I just wanted to point that out so that, you know, there wasn't any confusion on it. So we've got banana chips, we've got white rice, another thing of white rice. We've got Maple Grove oatmeal, Traveler stew, black bean soup, long grain rice, and black bean soup, creamy chicken flavored rice, Maple Grove oatmeal, Traveler stew, mashed potatoes, creamy chicken flavored rice, Maple Grove oatmeal, creamy chicken flavored rice, creamy chicken flavored rice, more oatmeal, and creamy stroganoff. Okay, so I think if I did the math right on these two buckets, it comes out to around like $6.50 or something like that per pound of dried food that you're getting. So, you know, take that for whatever it's worth, and you can do comparisons to other companies and see how that breaks down and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's take a look at the other bucket here. And I'll be doing some taste tests and all that kind of stuff. We'll get Xander, my son, on here and see what he thinks of some of this stuff, and give it a shot, because you just want to know how good they are and all that kind of stuff too. So we'll be doing some of those here in the future. All right, it's a full bucket. Okay. So the website, if you guys want to check this stuff out, the website to go to is real easy to remember: realitysurvivalfood.com. On that website, I've also got the Alexa Pure Pro on there, which I think is the best gravity filter out there. One of the reasons that I think it's the best is because their filter design is superior to all the other gravity fed filters as far as I'm concerned, and they are very transparent about what their filter filters out. They put the test results right on the website, and they show you, exactly what it removes. And it's not like they've got one comprehensive test that goes through all of it, and it's very easy to read. Other companies, they have 3, 4, 5 different tests from different companies at different times, and it's just not. It just makes it seem shady to me. So I like the Alexa Pure Pro. I think it's a great water filter. I think that the price on that right now is about $269 if I remember right. So check that out. And the cool thing about those is you can get those. Once you've got the container, and I've done a video on making an emergency one too, where you can make it yourself. But you can also order, different kinds of candle filters and stuff like that, and have additionals on hand. It's just a really good water purification system, I think. Okay, so here's the other bucket. So we've got Southwest rice. I may have had these buckets backwards. Southwest rice, let's see. Another Southwest rice. And home style potato soup. Orange energy drink. Another orange energy. Cheese and broccoli and rice. Yeah, I think I got the buckets mixed up when I put them back in there from earlier. Home style potato soup. Home style potato soup. Either that or I mixed up both buckets. I put it all on the table and I just mixed it up. I'm not sure. Buttermilk pancake mix. Another buttermilk pancake. Chocolate pudding. Strawberry flavored creamy wheat. Home style potato soup. Looks like I got a package here or something. Cheese and broccoli and rice. Hang on. All right, sorry about that. We had a Amazon delivery come in. All right, where were we? Chocolate pudding. Buttermilk pancake mix. Mac and cheese. Home style potato soup. Another mac and cheese. And another mac and cheese. So, quite a bit of stuff. Like I said, comes out to about 38 pounds or so of food, and so that's good. That's a lot of calories. It averages out about 2,000 calories per day. So if you haven't tried it, check it out, and we appreciate your guys' support. I've been saying for a while now, the next 24 to 48 months could be kind of shaky. So it's you never really know what's going to happen. So it's kind of best to be prepared for anything. And food preparations is just one of those basic things that you really should try to cover. Even if you live in an apartment, you could take a couple of these buckets, stick them in the back of your closet, and put your shoes on them. Or you could get the 3-month supply with 6 buckets. And you can put 6 buckets in your closet and pile all your shoes on it so you don't have to bend over so far to get them in the morning. So you can find some space, you know what I mean? So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Again, it's realitysurvivalfood.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on another video here shortly. Don't forget to live 6 P's. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe.